What is going on, guys? Paul Ryan back at it again. I hope everybody's having a good day. Last night on the Across the Cowboys podcast, first and foremost, thank you to everybody who tuned in. I unfortunately was not able to be there, but shout out to Mike and Brendan for holding it down as always. A great discussion. If you haven't listened to the podcast, I highly suggest you go check it out. They talked a lot about the Cowboys' upcoming free agents. One of those guys being Osa Odighizuwa, who arguably had maybe the best game of his career against the Carolina Panthers. Definitely the best game of this season against the Carolina Panthers. And they talked about re-signing Osa. And Mike brought up what his market value was on Spotrac, and it sounded like it was 12 to 13 million, if I'm correctly, either 12 to 13 or maybe 13 to 14. Now, at that price, I personally am out. Reason being is I think about other free agents that the Cowboys are going to have to make decisions on. And while I like Osa, I feel like overall with this defensive line, he just doesn't do enough, again, for me, to warrant that type of money. And I personally would rather re sign a Jordan Lewis and Chauncey Golston, re sign both of those guys. And in addition to re signing both of those guys for that money, get the third round comp pick that's going to come with Osa Odighizuwa. Reason being is because of depth, right? You're going to get depth at cornerback, veteran depth, and you're going to get some depth at defensive line because you look at the state of this defensive line, we'll potentially be losing Osa Odighizuwa, maybe Chauncey Golston, and DeMarcus Lawrence, and then Sam Williams going to be trying to return from a torn, I believe it was ACL. And then DeMarvion Overshown, who I know he doesn't play on the defensive line, but was starting to get a little bit more run there as far as pass rushing. He's going to be recovering from his injury, and we might not even see him in 2025. We're going to be remaking this defensive line. And I kind of think you look at this upcoming draft, from every draft, you want to call him expert, whatever you want to call him, from every draft guru, that might be a better word, I've heard talk about the draft this early in the process. It's filled with defensive linemen. And I'm thinking we saw last year how the Cowboys were in need of revamping this offensive line. What did they do? They went ahead and double dipped and drafted Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe. I could see the Cowboys double dipping that defensive line. I wouldn't be mad about it. We're going to need some pass rush. We're going to need a defensive tackle. We might not. We might even need maybe another two defensive tackles to replace Osa Odighizuwa, or potentially replace. I don't want to say replace Mozzie Smith, but to better complement him, or to I don't know, take some snaps away from him, whatever you want to say. Although he's been good, I hope that he looks like he's starting to develop. He's definitely been playing better. It would just be nice to have to give him a running mate to take some pressure off of him, because he's not necessarily so much a pass rusher. He's been a good run stopper, but we need somebody who's going to rush a pass, and that's what Osa's been doing. But we're going to be losing him. That's what DeMarcus Lawrence has been. I shouldn't say known for. He had that 120 sack season. He's been good He's been good as a pass rusher, but he's a better all around defensive lineman, more so better against the run. And if we lose Chauncey Golston, he again is kind of like I don't want to say a poor man's DeMarcus Lawrence. I don't think he's even that good, but he is a good all around player, a good depth piece to have. I think the Cowboys would be better suited again, re-signing Chauncey Golston to have some veteran depth while we wait and see what Sam Williams does, and what the potential of revamping this defensive line. We know that defensive tackles take a while to develop. In the NFL, having a guy like Chauncey would be really beneficial for this Cowboys team. But then you get Chauncey Golston, you get Jordan Lewis, and you get a third round comp pick. Yeah, I definitely would rather have those three things over Osa. No disrespect to Osa, but I feel like with the way this front office builds, not in free agency, but through the draft, a third round pick would be a lot better than what we might get from Osa at the same price. You get two players for one, and that's something I think the Cowboys are probably going to do, and that's something I would prefer that they do. But you let me know. Do you think that Osa Odighizuwa is worth re-signing at let's just say a $12 million price tag, or would you rather have the third round pick and maybe Jordan Lewis and Chauncey Golston, or would you rather have the third round pick and Deron Bland? That might be a possibility as well. That again, that's something I would rather have. Again, let me know in the comments. Chauncey Goals, excuse me, Osa Odighizuwa or the third round comp pick. Let me know in the comments again. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video. I'm Paul Ryan. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.